Are we live?
Yo, are we live? We're
Are we live?
live. Sabin,
We're live.
we're live. We're live. Sabin, are we live?
I don't know, Danny, are we?
You have
Okay,
a
I see
monitor
myself.
now. You can
I do see
actually
myself.
see the stream. How does it feel to see yourself now while you're doing this?
It feels pretty good, you know? It also feels good that now I'm not running on like a 3-second delay to get your reaction to what I'm saying, which will definitely help, I think, discussion-wise.
You were waiting 3 seconds for my reaction to the. Oh, you were watching the Twitch stream to wait for my
Yeah.
reaction to see if like I laughed at your joke.
Yeah, so I'd be like in the middle of telling the joke and like I'd be looking over at my other monitor like, is he starting to think it's funny or like what's the move?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, yeah. Well, now you can see me. Chat, what is going on? Spotify, what is going on? This is the Odd Man Out podcast. This is episode numero tres, coming
Wow.
at you now in Espanol.
Oh, hola. ¿Cómo
I'm
estás?
JK, mi
Oh,
español es muy mal. So we're back to English, but that
okay.
was brought to you by Spanish. But yeah, episode 3. Sabin, I know I changed the title on you, but I want you to talk about what is episode 3 for our listeners today going to be about.
We're going to be talking about all your favorite things to get a better mindset while making your content better. We're going to be discussing brand development, some of the things that worked for us early on, and what helped us develop our content even better later on, and what we thought we could have learned earlier, and how things went. Right, Danny? I
Oh
believe
yeah.
so, at least. That's what I have written down on my notepad.
Yeah, you're the one who produced this episode. You produced all 4 bullet points, Sabin. How does it feel to be a producer?
Is this what M. Night Shyamalan feels like?
It's the same thing. It's
Is he a
this.
director, actually?
I mean, director, producer, they're the same, right? Like
Yeah, they
we're
have the
experts.
they have an R at the end.
They have an R at the end. Guys, we know that is not true. Please don't flame us in the comments. I swear we're not destroying our credibility on episode 3, Save. That's a bad idea.
Hey, it took 2 more episodes than I thought. Let's
Hey,
go.
I know we made it 2 whole more episodes than I thought we were originally gonna make it. And we've been posting consistently. Like we're doing the thing. We're doing the thing. For anybody
Really
who's
are.
listening on Spotify, chances are you're like one of our family members or friends. But if you're not, if you're that one weirdo in Utah who's been listening,
Ooh,
you're not weird. You're my favorite person.
we do love you.
We do love you. We have a YouTube channel at Odd Man Out Studio. That's all you have to type into YouTube. You can find us right now. We are at 16 subscribers. Yes, that's the real us because we just started. And screw you. We're not going to be shamed for our numbers because we've been posting for 3 days. And yeah,
We're
so don't
killing
be a
it.
meanie
Low
head. We're
key.
killing it.
5K views? Low key?
Low key. Oh, you're flexing stats on people?
Yeah,
Save
I
it.
mean, I think that stats are, not all of it, but a little bit of it, right?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Just a tiny part.
We're going to get to stats and the present stats later on in the episode. But what's more important is to always start with back when me and Sabin fucked up. I think that's always a great place to start. And I'm not saying this like we didn't mess up in a bad way. It's okay,
Yeah,
Save. I saw you
nothing
were worried.
destructive.
Nothing destructive. Well, maybe self-destructive. but not business destructive, not brand destructive. It was something that like I have not seen too many YouTube videos on until like this year. 2023 I've been seeing a lot about the topic, but
3 days so
for
far.
3 days this topic has
Okay.
actually come up and that's the first time I've seen a YouTube video about it.
What's the
We're talk
topic?
we're talking about changing your mental about content creation. So that sounds like really like guru kind of esque, which I know we promised you guys that we want to be. Uh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean Saban's not a guru. Did you get your guru license this weekend?
No, but I mean, I am working on a course, which you can join my Discord server to learn a bunch of cool tips. But we don't have to go too far into it. But
Right.
besides that, no, I don't have any guru features in me.
Yeah, so we're not gurus. What we're talking about today is a mental shift Not like in a positive way. We're not saying to be a mentally positive person. We're not. You don't have to fake it till you make it. What I'm talking about is shifting your mental into a growth mentality. And what that boils down to, and we're going to explain it, give you lots of examples today. A growth mentality, our definition, the odd man out definition of our growth mentality is when you go from being a hobbyist to wanting to do this as your main or primary, maybe secondary source of income when you're taking your content more seriously, and you want to see the money roll in. Let's stop beating around the bush. You want to see them dollar bills, y'all. So you have to change your mentality into a growth mentality. So we're talking all about how you can shift. In less than an hour, we will have your mindset shifted into a growth mentality. Saban, did you ever hear about growth mentality before like 2022?
No, nope,
Yeah, me neither. I had
never.
I had no idea, dude. I had
I
no
was about to say,
idea.
I hope I'm not behind the curve. Yeah,
No,
it is a
no.
pretty new thing that people are like actually like meaningfully talking about rather than being like, yeah, I got a growth mentality. I'm feeling
Right.
smart.
Yeah, I think 2022 was like the year of like y'all like take your like chill a little bit. It was like the end of COVID, so like mental health, like refreshes, which is all really really important. But I
Oh
think 2023 is where people are starting to talk about the growth mindset. And what I want to do is I'm going to start with we're going to go back to the past, to Saban and I's past being not too long ago. Literally within the same job. So let me take you guys back about 6 months. All right. The story was this. Saban, I can't remember exactly, but do you remember, without naming like hyper specifics, do
yeah.
you remember how I started contracting you for our brand, not our brand, but for your previous job?
For my previous contract, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a
Was
good
it
question.
a one-off? Like, did I hit you up with a one-off? Did I hit you up for I can't remember. Or was it just like, "Hey, email so and so and because we need people." I think that's the
Yeah,
earliest memory I have of you.
yeah. I think you told me to email another dude who originally didn't actually bring me on, but then later on brought me on to do a few projects here and there, and then it kind of just shifted from like, hey, we need you for here and there to like, why not just keep on keeping on.
Okay, cool. So the story then is yeah, so we bring Saban on. Now you're a contractor. So Saban had a contract with me. We were building a brand. Really really cool stuff. And the content strategy then, Sabe, like when you came on, we can talk about it. It was a live streaming influencer,
Yeah.
right? So we're building it for a brand that we were working with, and they streamed and then did content. But I don't remember like that. There was no strategy when you came in. I think when you came in, it was like, "Yo, could you cut?" Was it VOD cutting? Were you cutting VODs?
I started off with doing some just like basic cinematic cutting, and then it turned into VOD cutting.
Oh,
Yeah,
the cinematics. You were back
yeah,
then. Holy
yeah. We
shit.
started. I
Okay.
think I created or I started editing like the fourth video that ever went
I
live.
remember the one
Yeah,
where yeah, they made a phone call. I remember now.
yeah.
Okay. So sorry guys, if you're listening to Spotify, you could have fast forwarded like 30 seconds, but don't do that now. We're going to skip that. Basically, I bring Saban on. He's editing cinematic footage for us cuz we're doing the content strategy at that time. And this is where we're going to start. This is our story. The content
Mhm.
strategy for this influencer was cinematic storytelling. So for anybody who doesn't know, basically, it's like higher polished videos that have like we had to script it, we had to do a storyboard. So Saban knew what shots he would be like. I said, Saban, this shot first, this shot, and then this shot, but like he had to edit it. So that's like high polished cinematic videos. That was the content strategy. How long were those videos, Save? Do you remember?
I want to say they averaged like anywhere from like 10 seconds actually to the longest one was like 2 minutes, but on average, I'd say 10 to like 30 seconds, right?
Right, right, yeah, and it was like Twitter. We were doing Twitter. We didn't put them on YouTube.
Did they go up on LinkedIn at all? Or was
No,
that
no.
no? So it was just
Um,
Twitter and Discord, I guess. Well, no, they were probably on Twitter and shared on
yeah,
Discord. Yeah.
Twitter, and then yeah. So the idea, the content strategy, then, and this, like, if you guys are listening for YouTube or Instagram, like, don't stay with us. This all counts. This all is video production, growth stuff. Basically, the strategy was tell a cinematic story through Twitter, and the idea was for the audience to follow the story on Twitter, right? So you had to follow the account, turn on your notifications, and when a video went out, the audience was they knew that they were getting revealed something about this character, about this person, right? Uh, but it was high polish, so like there wasn't a lot of creative like choices for Sabe to make. I don't think. Um,
No.
like maybe music. I think music was like your most the only thing you.
Yeah. And like sound effects, like I was able to get creative with some of my sound effects, but generally it was all like very planned out in a document. And it was like we took maybe a few different takes, choose the best take.
Yeah, right. So it's your typical high polished value content strategy. Um, how long did we do that, Sabe? It felt like a freaking eternity.
I think it felt so long because the videos took much longer to make since the are because they were so short, but all of the comments and the notes were so detailed because the videos were so detailed
Mm,
that I mean it was taking us the same amount of time to produce like a 30-second cinematic as it was like an 11-minute highlight video for YouTube for the few that
right,
we did of those.
right.
But I want to say the last one we did was in like March, so maybe like 2 months. 2
Yeah,
months or something like that.
two,
I
two.
think
Gosh.
we did like 1 or 2 funny cinematic ones, and those did well, but then we're like, "This isn't even worth it." Like, it's so much effort for something that, like, ultimately just didn't pan out, unfortunately. It was a super cool idea, though.
Yeah, and the videos were fire, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
I
like
thought that they were all, like, really aesthetically pleasing, but it it just wasn't the move for what they were going for.
yeah, and that's where lesson number one of the growth mindset shift happened, right? So Saban just kind of like teased it out for me. You know, like he said, it wasn't worth it. So like we were getting probably anywhere from I mean, at first we were getting a lot of views on Twitter because the project was about the project was a different product first, and then we had built an audience that was highly engaged. So like we got 1,000 views, upwards of 10,000, and I think the most was probably like when we first revealed the thing, and it was like 100,000. But like to Saban's point, it took how long would one of those videos take, Sab? They took freaking so just to record. So being the producer, the recording time on it, the way we were producing that type of content, cinematic stuff, took us like at least 3 hours, 4 hours to capture in the way we were capturing it then, pre-growth mindset.
Jesus, I did
Four
not know that.
4 hours. Well, there was like other stuff, like we had to dress the set, and then like the back end stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
for
there was a lot
sure.
of technicals going on when we were recording, but it took about 4 hours of like reshoots and then the post stuff. Like we had to do post stuff to get you the footage.
Yeah.
So 4 hours, and then how long do you think it took to edit and then get and like, dude, talk about your notes process,
Oh,
which was
yeah.
like tedious but needed at the time.
Yeah. I wanna say that the initial edit would take, like, maybe 3 hours or so, because 'cause I'd have to go between the, like, 2-minute recording or so and find the best shots, and then I'd actually we were downloading sound effects for literally everything, so even the amount of, like, the character that we were editing for just stepping around and, stepping on metal, like, I had to look up, like, metal footsteps and then just do that for each step, stuff like that is very tedious. And then on top of that, a lot of those sound effects would just get fucking changed anyway. That was the real glory of it all. But I mean, yeah, it was taking like 3 hours to get a V1, and then it would take a while for me to get notes, like maybe a day or a couple hours, something like that. And then it'd take like another hour of changes, and we would get to like a V. I think V11 was the highest we actually got to one of them, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
my fucking god.
Yeah.
But like
So
V8, V7 was an
was the
average number.
average, yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember a lot of versions, we were pumping maybe like 2 videos a week, if we were
Yeah.
lucky, 2 videos, pre-growth mindset. So the first shift that we had was, this takes too many hours. How can we shift it? So we went from these highly polished videos, into, I think that's when we started doing live streaming. So we started live streaming, and I said, "Hey, we're not gonna do any more of the high polish content. We're only gonna make content from the live stream."
Yeah.
And the reason for that was because Saban, we hired Saban for live stream editing because I knew Saban was coming in and we were gonna work with a gamer, and Saban's great with gaming content. So like we knew we had the gamer, we just needed the editor. So we said, all right, let's get on Twitch and we're gonna live stream and Saban's gonna clip it and we're gonna build a content strategy towards that. Because the goal, so like the tip number 1 here is like come up with an objective, and the objective for us was we need to make more videos because the views weren't the problem. We just did not make enough. Oh, my camera freezes. We just did not make enough videos. Like in a week, it was really abysmal. So the growth mindset shift number 1 that we did was have a goal, and we set the goal to make more videos. It's never a vanity goal. Well, that's a lie. That's a fucking lie. There's a lot of vanity goals, but goal number 1 for us was to pump out more videos. So that was the before. Saban, as the editor, towards the tail end, how many videos per day were we producing?
Near the end of it?
Near the end of it. So like
Oh
I'm talking like
man.
post growth mentality, like how many videos were we packaging, were you packaging into a folder for me to schedule and upload?
I'd say
Cuz
and
it was crazy, but because you also worked on other stuff.
yeah, I was working on other stuff as well besides that, but I'd say I was getting like 10 to 11 shorts a day
Yeah.
at least. And honestly, I started slowing down near the end because we just had so many, and then I started like just making them better quality. But I mean, on some days I was getting like 13 shorts done. It was insane.
Now, when we say YouTube short, like, and this, we're gonna get into growth mindset shift number 2, which was intention. Um, what is a YouTube short comprised of? You're muted. So a YouTube short, what is that like? What did our YouTube shorts always include, and like the quality of these shorts when you were making 11 of them? Because like they were good.
Yeah. Normally, the shorts would always have to include captions, uh, like screen punches every like 3 to 4 seconds, so that there was always movement happening. A lot of the times it included like JPEGs or like transparent JPEGs or a green screen meme as well, just something to add on to it. And then, is there anything else? Sometimes there'd also be some branding that would need to be put on, but generally, yeah, it was a lot of stuff like that.
And that was another 60 seconds with Sabe on how to make a YouTube short. See, I'm really good at finding content moments, which we will mention in this podcast because I like to be transparent. Me and Saban know how to farm like clips for
Oh,
social now. So like I can lead. Yeah, it's that's another mind shift, but that's later. So yeah, I mean like the YouTube short, you're making more of them. You're making them more consistently, and they're high polish. Like they're not cinematic, but they're high polish. Like they have the captions and they have all of this staying power of like a YouTube short, right? Like we knew retention, you needed 3 second punches. So like these are highly treated, would have cost like a shit ton of money to get like made. Like if we had contracted each video out, would have been thousands of
oh
dollars.
yeah. It would have been a lot more than the full time for sure.
Right. So like so that's growth mentality 1. We've already been there, so we made a goal, um, and then as we found, uh, our views didn't go up. You know, like we had more views, right? Because we had more videos, but all of the videos were at like 15 views, 30 views. And again, this is like we're talking like super recent. We've had a different content strategies. If you want to hear about our Omega one, we'll probably do a whole episode on it.
Yeah.
But we did have like a whole month of virility, like just viral. Like these were like when Saban was making 6 million viewed videos. Like we had the strategy. But anywho, so we were getting views towards the tail end. And because Saban was able to make 11 videos at a time, like that meant I could just post like every single day, post one short and never run out. And that was beautiful. But then I started doing the math and I was like, okay, if we're doing 30 videos, 30 shorts a day, for 30 days a month, and they each get 10 views, we're getting 300 or 3,000 views a month. Like that's shit. And that's when I said, okay, we can start posting more because Saban has more. And every time we post, we're going to change something. So this is growth mindset shift number 3 now, I think. I'm going to lose track. But this is number 3. And what we found was you have to have intention. So we weren't just posting a video out to get views, right? Like that was not the goal. We would post a video and we were testing something. Saban, what were some of the things that you as an editor were testing even in your edits that you know? And also you can talk about things that you knew I was testing as the producer. I'll let you tell the people, like every time we posted, what were we trying to do?
Yeah, a lot of the things as an editor I tested were like the caption colors. That was a big one. Like I found that yellow and white were really good ones, and like orange is good as well. But sometimes the darker colors aren't as good. Messing around with the first 3 seconds, that was a really big one that we started messing with towards the end, and we found that that was super successful. Where like if you make those first 3 seconds pop somehow, you have a much higher chance at getting a new viewer and also keep I muted right there, and at keeping consistent viewers. Uh, but yeah, a few of the other things that we were testing like different things in the titles, like using keywords, using caps, using emojis. I know is something we were doing near the end. A few of the other things as an editor, we were trying like sound effects to see if that made
Mhm.
a difference at all. I wanted to see if making like complete screen changes rather than just a screen pump, but like having just gameplay or just a face cam, things like that would make a difference, which it does. Big note there. But yeah, those are some of the things that I had to mess around with, and just a few of the things I know that you were messing around with. But it's crazy trying to figure out what content works and doesn't work, and just trying to constantly be improving while at the same time not like ruining the flow that you have.
Right. Yeah, that really does encapsulate the process. I mean, as the producer, so Saban mentioned it. I was testing new head like titles, always, and testing different thumbnails. Right, so titles, thumbnails, and then we were messing around with every time I would post. We were up to like 4 times a day, so I was posting 3 to 4 YouTube shorts per day, and I literally had a notebook of ideas. I was like, I wonder if the title affects whatever. So it was like a science fair. So I was like, does X affect like Y or whatever? So like that morning I was like, I want to test just hashtags. So I would like video 1, I would change the hashtags. Video 2 would be a control. Video 3 would be like no hashtags, and video 4 would be only hashtags. Right? So like we were able to go mad scientist mode with intention because we had the workflow nailed down. So like that's something about the growth mindset that's just like another kind of tip is once you say I'm going to take this seriously, you start running up against similar problems over and over, and as you solve them, you're going to exponentially be rewarded. Because we were like, okay, how do we get people to watch 40% of the video and then 50% of the video? And Saban had to keep like cutting it differently to keep that metric moving forward. And if you don't think with a growth mindset, you're never going to experiment. And I
Yeah.
think that's what it boils down to, is like you have to be willing to experiment uh with like, hey, like let's be one of the best conversations we had, not to cut aside, but I think this like kind of sums it up, is how many viewers. I asked Saban this, which was really interesting because Saban's guess was way different than what I thought. Saban, do you remember when I asked you, like, realistically, how big do you think this dude can get?
Yeah.
That was the day when I was like, fuck it, we're growth mindset. Like I was like, I'm thinking like big dog, like top, like. And the reason I asked Saban what number he realistically thought this influencer could hit was because your growth mindset is gonna cap you. If Saban said like 1 million or whatever his number was, we're gonna find out in a second. This is for retention. Uh, if you if Saban thought his number was, oh, we're gonna get as big as 10,000 followers, which is big for some people. I'm not shitting on that number, but if Saban said, I think reasonably we will hit 10,000, then you're kind of mentally capping yourself at you cannot exceed that amount. So you're only going to take actions that will amount to less than 10,000 views a video. And that's what really clicked with me, because we were making a bunch of content. Like we were making like gaming clips and montages, but they weren't like exploding. So I was like, dude, fuck this. I'm going to go and look at literally what the biggest dudes are doing. Like I thought reasonably we could have 1 million subscribers. Like within 18 months I was like 1 million subscribers. And I started literally not making content that 1 million plus subbed channels were not making. I refused. I was like, no, we're not going to wait. Like every stream became farming for specific things for Saban to edit, because I only had the growth mindset of I'm going to post like a million million subscribed channel. And I think that was a huge shift because it makes you sound like a dick. I just felt like, yeah, but like if you want to be that big, like then you have to act that big, which was really like, I'm not a confident, cocky person. I like my outward appearances, but like internally I'm always like anxious. But we had to shift our mindset to like think bigger, because I was like, fuck it, yeah, we'll DM that person, like we'll collab with so and so, because if you don't, you're just gonna cap yourself.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Michael Scott said that. Okay.
Facts. Factual. So now that we've teased it out enough, Saban, how many subscribers, RIP, do you think, what was your guess when I asked you that?
Realistically,
Yeah, remember I was like, Saban, realistically, like how big do you think this dude can get?
I want to say like 500K to 1 million is what I said.
Yeah. I think you said 250.
Yeah, 250, 500K.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like again, I wasn't shitting on numbers. I think 350K is a guess for like Odd Man Out. I think Odd Man Out could pull 350,000 subscribers in it would take 5 years, like reasonably, because and
But
the
it,
only reason for that is cuz we're a podcast,
yeah,
right? And like we're trying to do other things that are not just content. But I think reasonably $350,000 for like a channel like ours, where like you educate people on how to do things in like content creation, like there's so much potential. But for the brand that we were running, I thought we could hit 1 million plus. Like I was convinced.
I mean, I believed in it. Don't get me wrong, and it's not that I didn't think that we could. It's that I felt like we were kind of niche, you know,
Yep.
and it's hard for niches to pick on, and some of them really do. And I think that's one thing that started to pick up for us before the end, RIP, is that we stayed fluid with like the content we were making. Like we were just like, we're gonna just do one thing and like commit to that. We were like, okay, this is doing all right, but let's try this. Let's try this. Let's see. And like some things did super well and we like committed to that a little more, but we never were like, we're gonna be a Fortnite gamer, or even like we're gonna be a gamer, right? Like we did tons of different shit. which netted us tons of different followers and groups of categories to put us in, which I think is huge. Like I have one friend who you know as well, Dane. He really like kind of just flip flop with games until like recently. He's been averaging like 2,000 views a video, which is like respectable for a smaller channel. But he's starting to commit to Overwatch more because he was finding from like 50 views to 2,000, that's what's picking up for him more. So I think it definitely like staying fluid until you start finding something that sticks for you more was huge for us, and it is a huge thing in general.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly it. Like we had so much different types of content on there, and it was guys, when Saban says like we would do something and then if the results were like, okay, it did okay, let's cut it. Like he's talking like we would have 4 of them already made and we would just stop. Like we wouldn't publish the rest and we would literally just make a new series that day. We were
Yeah,
like, all
it
right,
was
cool, I'm
brutal.
going to go in and we're going to record this and you know, it was like that fast of a turnaround because we were like I was addicted. I was addicted to like tinkering with the fucking posting, dude. I was like a mad I'm like Saban, I'm pretty sure if I wear my left sock on my hand that and we post at this exact time with this exact like dude, I was fanatical. But that's because I wanted so badly. Like I had the growth mindset of like we're going to be a million sub channel. We have to act like it today. And you
Yeah,
can't wait until you hit it. Which like was because I'm like, damn, dude, like if you act like you have it, you're just gonna hit it faster. Because they're gonna get you. It's crazy, dude. It was crazy to think about, but this like it literally took me like 8 years of doing this shit to like realize that that was like a light bulb. You have to shift your mindset before like literally anything else. Because I'm sure Saban wanted to quit on me like 20,000 times with like how many pivots or no, not at all, dude.
no, I love pivoting personally, and
Yeah,
it's why I like freelancing so much because it's just constantly like trying new shit and just experimenting. It's kind of my favorite thing, and I think that that was like one of the coolest parts about when we worked together. We were just like doing a bunch of different stuff, and if it didn't work, chalk
right.
it,
We just
go to the
chalked
next
it,
thing.
dude. I know, but
Easy
that's
go
why.
next. That's my
But like,
mindset.
yeah, but that's the mind, and like that's exactly. But then we took everything that we had learned and we started applying it to this, and we were like, "Yo, Saban, like if you can make so Saban edits our shorts. Everybody should definitely go like all of our shorts because Saban pours his heart and blood and tears into all of the edits with love in his little bakery of content over there. Um, but like we took everything we learned, and I said, Save, if you cut these, then I will go in, I'll schedule, and I'll do everything that I learned. And we've been posting since December 28th.
Yeah. So going on
Yeah.
5 days to that.
So 5 days today, and it's like again, we're not huge, we're not ginormous by any count, but Saban, how many views?
We were at like 5.5K when I checked a few hours ago.
Well, five. I'm gonna correct that on the record. 5.3K.
Oh,
It's 5.3K. In 5 days doesn't sound like a big deal, but like that's literally, guys, with no long form content. Like we're doing just this live, which doesn't even go on YouTube until the day after, if I remember. I need to get episode
yeah.
2 out, but
Soon
uh,
enough.
this is only shorts, right, Sabe? This is only a shorts
Yeah.
content strategy because Saban doesn't have to like sweat all day editing. Like he's enjoying life and being able to do stuff. And
Wow.
then like, besides buying a parking permit, yeah, don't park outside of your own house illegally, listeners.
Honestly,
Don't
very
do it.
true. That's the biggest piece of advice you should be taking away from this. Get your parking pass, okay? Because even if it's your house, they will ticket you.
They will ticket. It's a fact. Um Gosh, I just got so sidetracked. But yeah, I mean, like 5.3K in 5 days, not a lot of views. Like we're not viral. That's my growth mindset kicking in. I'm like, dude, like let's go. We can triple that next week, easy. So, but it is like an accomplishment, right? Like we want you guys, whoever's listening, if you're starting a podcast, you're doing a YouTube channel, you're just like TikTok, like anything, Don't ever let somebody say you're just like a TikToker, you're just a YouTuber. Like, no, fuck that. You're a content creator. But more importantly, like every benchmark, celebrate that shit. That's like the last like overarching thing for mindset that we never got to because like we never celebrated the victories. And now me and Saban do it like every fucking 10 subscribers. I'm like, Saban, look, we hit like
We're at
10.
17 subs. Let's
Yeah, and I'm
go.
like, it's so small and minute, but like celebrating the accomplishments because like you went from 0 to that number, right? Like you're going from like you're posting. And I think
Right.
that's like something that most people don't even do. I don't know. Most people don't post, Save.
Yeah, most people don't even bother putting themselves out there. And the real thing is that you're never going to potentially go viral. You're never going to potentially make it if you don't put out the content and at least attempt to get seen, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
At
You're not
5,000 people, dude, I'm
Dude,
convinced at
5,000
least
eyes.
one of them, Mr. Beast. And then we get that connection.
Right, that's it.
And that's all you need. All you need is to be noticed by one of those 5,000 people as well for something to potentially be life changing.
Yeah,
So
notice us,
appreciate your
Mr.
views.
Beast.
Aim for your views. Notice us, Mr. Beast.
Thank
But
you,
yeah,
Mr. Beast.
appreciate all of your accomplishments. Honestly,
Yeah, that's
50 subs,
huge.
100 subs, 10K. It's all about getting to your goal. But
Yeah.
everything is a part of that. It's all about the
True,
journey, too.
man. Dude, and it's like every time you hit the next goal, you're just gonna want more anyway. So like you might as well accept it. Like I think that's like something that I want to talk about in more in another episode is like literally how long this fucking game is. Because I
Chasing that
call
content high.
yeah, content creation is just a big game. That's how like I view it. And I was telling Saban this, like I always said it. I was like, guys, like when we had a team, we were like we had the number. We were like we want to hit 100,000 subscribers, right? Like that's always the goal. Like that's the big hump. And I just like remember constantly asking because like I was grappling with it. I was like, Saban, what fundamentally changes after 100,000 subs?
Everything.
Literally nothing.
Oh.
I tricked you too, motherfucker. Nothing changes. Why? Because if you got to the point where you're at 100,000 subscribers, you already know your content. You're not guessing anymore. You're just writing like what you're doing and now becoming an expert in that. Like at 100,000, nothing fundamentally changes though. We're still producing content. You're still going to caption it. You're still going to focus on the first 3 seconds. You're still going to do a title and description and thumbnail. Like nothing fundamentally changes, just the numbers. Like it's just bigger numbers. And like that's it. And then you got to go for the next. You're like, all right, cool, 1 million now.
And I remember when our account did hit 100K followers, one of them, we were just like, sweet, on to 200K.
Right.
Like, we barely
Yeah.
even, we were just like, all right, on to the next
Homie
thing. It's never ending.
didn't get a bonus, didn't get like a day off. I'm just
Didn't get
saying.
a slap on the
I'm
back
just
or
no, I'm just
anything.
kidding. There are incentive programs. We're not in the department. We were exploratory, so we didn't have incentive programs. So yeah, we hit 100K and our reward was like the fire emoji and like on to 200K and guys, celebrate your fucking victories because like
Fireworks emoji.
that was a bummer, dude. I went out and bought myself a beer. I did.
I got myself a pizza, dude. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was like, dude, we hit 100K. Like, I like take the rest of the day off. Like, do something. Celebrate your victories because guess what? Nobody else is gonna fucking do it for you. And this is why we have the explicit icon next to our stream.
No, we just ruined our rating.
No, so on Spotify it's fine. Just on YouTube Shorts. Oh, pro tip, guys. This is rolling out in 2023. You can't have foul language at all. Like they rank all curse words the same now on YouTube. And if you have it in the first 3 seconds of your video, then it gets flagged. So you can't monetize.
Shooting heck.
Did you say shooting heck?
Shooting heck. That's freaking not cool, man.
Saban just lost 80% of his vocabulary. I've lost 85.
It's either I lose 80% of my vocabulary or I lose 100% of my monetization, dude.
I mean, we're not monetized anyway, so it's fine until somebody sponsors us. Wink,
You
wink, nudge,
wanna
nudge.
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
No, I
G
don't. We're
Fuel for
too G Fuel. Everybody wants fucking G Fuel, my dude. I don't want a G Fuel
Get me
sponsorship.
my
No, I
sponsorship.
don't need it. G Fuel, you can keep your fucking 5% affiliate link. I don't need that shit. Fuck that. I'll build my own energy drink and then sell it. Affiliate my
Dude,
own
are we the
shit.
next Prime?
No, I wouldn't want to compete. Not the shit. I like G Fuel, but like I don't like affiliate. That's my hot take of the podcast. Maybe that's like something we do. Maybe our like hot seat hot take.
Ooh.
My hot take of the podcast is I hate affiliate marketing. I hate affiliate programs where gamers grind like day in for, because it's like very rarely is it worth it for you to then rebrand everything with their logo just to give a sales, like you get your little fucking code and then you get 5% of all sales generated. Like if you have 1,000 fucking followers and 3 active viewers, how many people are using you make like 3 cents a month maybe, which again, not shitting on the creator, but shame on you, G Fuel and affiliate links. Get bigger commissions, man. They should be doing like, I think if we came up with the odd man out drink and we did an affiliate program for it, I would dead ass do like a 97 3% split. Yeah, I'd go wild. I don't even think that would make us profitable.
We
But
actually
the
wouldn't
brand,
even make
but the
profit.
brand, no, but it's like free water. The brand awareness alone drives everything else up. It's like, yeah, it's like Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. Free Red
Did you
Bulls
know
for
Red Bull
everyone.
used to? You want to know? I'm gonna leave the podcast with this because this is what they're gonna want. Did you know
Okay.
Red Bull, when they were first getting started, were competing with Monster and shit, right?
Mhm.
So what they used to do was they would go and get empty Red Bull cans and dump them and overflow trash cans with them, so that people thought people were drinking so much Red Bull that they just had to go out and buy them. They would just go to like college like universities and like dump bags of used cans into their trash cans to make it look popular.
That's legendary.
Yeah, legendary. So the moral of the story, guys, get your trash, put your brand on it, and dump it into other people's trash cans.
You'll look very clouded.
Very
And
clouded.
also, Red Bull gives you wings.
Red Bull does give you wings. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Red Bull. Red. I don't know if they do podcast, dude. It's like, how high octane can you get? We're the most rad fucking podcast ever.
All right, I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to make a video today.
Yeah, my Red Bull shaker. Yeah, for sure. Red Bull, hit me up, oddmanout at oddmanoutstudio.com. We have our own domain, dude. We're pretty official.
Yeah.
Sabin, before we close the podcast out, because this is another short one, I like this like 45 minutes to hour range. I think this is good
I
length.
agree.
But Sabin, closing thoughts. What do you think of the growth mindset? Just in general, closing thoughts on it to the listeners out there.
I think the growth mindset never really ends. So, I think it's a good balance of figuring out like when to appreciate yourself and know what you're doing is correct and be able to capitalize on that, while also at the same time constantly be thinking on how you can improve what the people in your same market are doing. So maybe you can match, not take, but learn, you know,
I
learn
like
from
that.
them and constantly be just improving yourself. There's no right or wrong way to do it, but there are right or wrong things that you can do. So just do the best to make the right choices.
Hell yeah, dude. You're gonna be a great, like, great great grandfather one day. You'd
Thank
be
you,
like,
thank you.
don't do what I wouldn't do, but do it. Go rail that. Well, I'm not gonna say drugs on the podcast. Yeah, go do it. Just do it at home. We're safe.
Yeah.
Cause I wouldn't do that. That was
lavender oil on your back.
that was so elegant, dude.
Thank
I
you.
think you're like gotta be like number 5 podcast host NA. Like already. Are you ready for your?
Ooh.
Is there like a podcast Emmy?
Yeah, dude. Is there a gamer awards for podcasts? There actually
Well,
definitely is. We're gonna have to get ourselves on that.
I tweet at them too many times for them to, not the gamer awards, but the esports awards. I tweet at too many times with negative feedback, so I don't think I'll ever be nominated for an esports award.
No, I'll
But-
bring you as my +1 when Take Flight wins one.
Yeah, bring me for your +1. I'll see you there. Esports awards. This is for the clip, baby. Yeah, they're just all sponsored. Yeah, great thoughts, Sabin, on the growth mindset. my closing thoughts are: it's 2023. Do all that you can to go. And again, this is only for people trying to take it super serious. You're not a hobbyist. You want to be professional, or you want to make that sweet money. This is for you tryhards out there. Go and just look up growth mindsets for YouTube. Go find some books. 0 to 1 is a really great book for that. And not sponsored. Yeah, go read a book, not sponsored. But yeah, that's been the third episode of the Odd Man Out podcast. We've survived 3. We've done 3,
Let's go.
Saban. Give yourself a pat on the back, dude. We're doing great. We're doing great. Yeah, we got
Good
this.
work,
See?
everyone.
Celebrate it. I'd like to thank the crew, the production crew. That's Saban and I. Good job, Saban. More
Good
congratulations.
work,
Great job. And yeah, the after party will be hosted at my mom's house. Just Google local MILFs in your area. You'll find her.
Okay.
Oh, see what I did there? Shout out, Mom. All right, that's the end of this podcast before I embarrass myself anymore. Saban, as always, thank you so much for being an amazing host with me. It's always a pleasure.
Oh my gosh.
That was weird. That was weird. Saban, where can the people on the podcast find you and what you're up to?
You should go to twitter.com/justSaban. I've got some bangers on there. Not a lot, but some. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Hell yeah. And you can find me at Danny B Social. Super easy, but it's also a word. So
we're
it
also
makes sense.
always killing it on the at Odd Man Out Studio Twitter.
At Odd Man Out Studio.
No S at the end.
No S
just
at the end.
Studio. Singular.
At studio. It's a singular studio.
We're waiting for the funding to make sure if we can get the studios or if it's just a singular.
Right. When Gary V wants to throw us some money and have a co-branded podcast, Gary, I'm looking at you. Who would we want to fund before we close? Because I want it for the clip. Who's the multi-billionaire we want funding this podcast?
There's only 2 I can think of.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson
or Mr. Beast.
Oh, Dwayne The Rock Johnson or Mr. Beast.
Yes.
The ball's in your court, guys. One of you gets dibs. Who wants it?
First one. Let's go.
First one. We're fun to work with. All right. That's it. We will see you guys on episode 4 coming soon to a theater in your home. Peace.